So I'm actually curious how the stylist business works because my first job in like fashion was in college at a retail store, and
Oh,
there was a
wow.
little bit of clienteling going on there. I worked at this brand called I worked at Vince,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I guess so I think from that job, I remember thinking like, should I become like a stylist on the side? That's like a natural progression to that kind of job.
Yeah.
So I'm just naturally curious. The industry right now, like, what is the industry right now? Is it like, let me get a celebrity client or let me create content? What are some of the ways stylists get their
Yeah.
names out there?
I think it's so different for everyone. I think the fact that we live in such a social media focused world right now is actually very helpful because it's a lot of ways that you can get your name out there and you can show your work. And that doesn't even just apply to styling. That could be if you're a singer or whatever you do, especially with TikTok, which is how I started. Personally, for me, I studied fashion merchandising and business in college. And so I always knew that I was going to work in fashion. But when I graduated, I really wanted that security of a corporate job. So I worked in the
Hmm.
buying department of a big luxury retail company. And I did that for about a year and a half, where I was like, all right, we need to keep on moving. I didn't really see a ton of growth within that company for myself. And I've always had a passion of being more of an entrepreneur. I had that styling internship. I absolutely loved it. And I really felt like that was what my calling was. And I think that I could be good at that. And so I just started posting on TikTok, and I would post, I think like the first few months, I'd post 7 videos a day. So it was like I was working the 9 to 5 and then I was just posting, just trying to like get my name out there. And I just had one video that went viral that was about men's fashion. And I was like, this is my niche. I'm going to make this my entire personality and I'm really going to go for it. And so I started gaining a little following. And then I had people reach out to me being like, hey, do you do one on one styling? Like, I could use some personal styling and some of your help. And that's how I started my styling business. So I think it's different for everyone, but the social media was definitely a huge factor for me and super important. And that's really how I get almost all of my clients now, still to this day, is because they see my videos and see my content and see what I can do and the advice that I give. And so I think it adds some validity to my business when you can see that I have other people that follow me and like my stuff and my advice.
Do you do any outbound like DMing? Hey, like I'm Maddie, I'm a stylist, like any like celebrities, like dream clients, right? Do you do any DMing? Like, I'll style you for free. Like, how do you go about that sort of
I
pitch?
I have. I should do that more. I just moved out to LA 3 weeks ago. So I'm very
Oh,
new
right.
to LA. And so I'm still getting my bearings on all that. I DM'd Dave Portnoy, haven't got a response yet, but that would be one that I'd love to style. I'm very much in the know on what's going on in the reality TV world and all the social media world. So I'll try to capitalize off that. We just had the Love Island was huge this past season. So I did send out a few feelers like, hey, if you guys need styling for anything, let me know. I'd love to style you guys, and got a few responses. So that was super cool. But yeah, I haven't like fully dove into that, but I want to.
You
Anytime
may not
someone
need to.
pops into my mind, like, you might as well just send them a message. It can't hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, you should have a template that you just like swap names in and out.
I know. Like,
And like
every
maybe like,
time I think of someone, just like write it down, just start going through the list, copy and paste.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, like
I
it,
think you'd be
it
surprised.
never
You
hurt.
get some you wouldn't, yeah, definitely wouldn't hurt. I think you would be surprised with all the, if they're not interested in it right now, maybe they would just follow your content. And then that's a win too, because you're growing your
Yeah,
page and you're getting people that you want to follow the account to follow
yeah,
it.
for
So
sure.
on that note, do you do an AMA? Ask me anything. Like, how do you get some of your content ideas?
Oh, there's a few different ways. Like, first, I always do based on what's going on in the world. So I'm very much in the know of things that are happening. Like, we just had the Olympics. I did an Olympic video. I'll
Yeah.
always do 4th of July outfits, Christmas, Easter, things like that. And then I always do fall fashion, spring fashion, summer fashion. So whatever's like
Mm.
currently the time we're in the year, I always make sure to do videos like that. And then I respond to every single DM that I get. I like am very much active in my DMs, seeing what people say. Because a lot of times they'll send me ideas of videos, or they'll be like, "Hey, I need help finding a outfit for this my cousin's wedding," and I'll be like, "Oh, I haven't done a wedding guest video." So I
Right.
definitely listen to what my followers want their videos to be. And then the third is that I'm just like a girl that has a crazy notes app that have every TikTok idea I've like ever thought of written down. So I have a very extensive list that I just scroll through if I need to make a video and don't have an idea. So I'll just look at my list.
So you look ahead, you say, okay, there's like upcoming holidays or like football season's coming, and then you like
Yeah.
plan content around that.
Yeah. Like right now, I'm doing a lot of fall videos. I just did fall trends that I predict we're going to see. I did fall footwear. I'll do a really big fall shopping guide one, and that's in the works. Those ones take me a little bit longer, but yeah, a lot of it is just you want to be on the right time with what's going on in the world, what people are needing fashion wise. I'm not going to make a video about linen shorts right now when we're in the end of summer, you know? Yeah.
I think you're in a good spot with, I think a lot of guys, at least straight guys, are dressing for like the approval of women, right? So the fact that you are a woman, a straight woman, you probably are, you're literally, if you're telling me to wear something, if I'm looking for help with my style, I'm going to take your feedback more than I would take a guy's feedback, right?
Yeah.
Because
It's definitely a
you're the
niche.
target audience essentially.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely it's interesting though because sometimes too on the other side I will hear people say, "Why would I take your advice when you're not a guy?" So that's the other side of it is people are like, "How do you know how to dress a man when you aren't a man yourself?" And I think that's like you said, I think from a woman's perspective who cares so much about fashion, I think I have the best advice. When someone who studied fashion in school and worked in fashion, and I always make it a big priority to stay educated on my fashion. Like I'm always reading GQ articles, like I'm always on Vogue, like I like to know what's going on in the world in the fashion scene, and I think that also really helps. This is my full-time job, so I'm not just making whatever videos pop in my mind. Like I'm doing my research and taking the time to think this stuff through.
Totally. Yeah. I think it's a little bit of it's a little bit different on the other side. So for example, my fiance is trying to figure out what she wants to wear to like our welcome drinks next month.
Yeah.
And I can't, and even though I'm like, I run a brand, I'm very tapped into what's going on in I wouldn't say menswear, but just in retail, apparel, streetwear. I can't really help much when it comes to dressing like a dress for her. I don't really know. I could give her an average guy's take on it, but I feel like women can tell guys what to wear, but it's harder for guys to tell women what to wear.
Yeah, for sure. And they always say the boyfriend or the girlfriend effect. Like they'll say that a guy will just like his fashion, his like overall just attractiveness will like skyrocket when he gets a girlfriend because she like got in there and helped him with a few things. So
yeah,
I definitely think women just like love to shop. Like we know what's going on, like in the men's and the females, and especially me who spends all this time making sure I really know what's going on in the men's fashion world.